48-hour art check, round 53. Oh, and I totally forgot to turn the volume down on that, which I'm going to do right now. Right now, I will turn the volume down. Next time, it won't be loud. We had somebody on the last show point out that our intro music is like blaring compared to our talking, and so they have to like adjust the volume. So I have to do that.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, like we actually can't really hear the volume while it's playing, so it's an illusion. That's created. But that's good to know, and we will definitely work on that. So thanks for letting us know.
That's why we end up talking over it at the end, is because I'm not exactly sure when the song ends. so I know what happens during the explosion part, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway. By the time that cloud kind of appears, I kind of assume it's cutting out.
Right.
All right. So should we dive into it?
Let's jump in here. I'll start this time. So I did a video monetary breakdown of my Artist Alley, which I lost money depending on how you look at it. Pretty much in 3 or 4 different ways. If you look at it, I lost money, and then I sort of broke even, kind of. And then I haven't been able to get done a ton of stuff, but I also have been working on like a list of characters cosplaying as other characters in this kind of like hyper thing that I'm doing as like I don't know how to describe it, and I'm really tired. So what did you get done? Sorry.
I'm actually really interested in that thing.
And I pressed the wrong button and restarted the timer.
No worries. So I got my comic done. This guy, well, not done, but just more work done on this page that will not die. The page that will never be finished. And I'm hoping to hopefully get like at least another row of those little comic pages done tonight before I go to bed.
That'd be cool. Yeah, so now we're one off. The thing I was talking about is at the show, everybody was really just looking for fan art. I don't have a problem with fan art, but I'm not like a fan art like guy. And I am also kind of sarcastic, and I like to make fun of things. And so I had this idea for this print where it would be the most fan arty print ever. And I'm just going to have like every major character that people fan art a lot cosplaying as the most popular cosplays. That's kind of the thing.
I love it.
So anyway.
Like a mashup apocalypse.
Right.
That's awesome.
As far as challenges, sorry, I'll just go to get us back into it. As far as challenges, today was my first day back at school, and even though my wife is staying up with Maddox now, I'm still like hearing the monitor at night, and like I'm not getting like a full sleep, and I am just like fried all the time. That's pretty much the last couple days.
Yeah, when I was about that same point, there was this fast food joint near where we lived, and I went in there, and this guy usually would hook me up with free food because he thought I was stoned because I was just that tired. So I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, we're on the same page, brother. And I'm like, okay.
Like, yeah,
free food.
Whatever.
Yeah, challenges just works hard. That's my challenges.
I like how our challenges have just gotten so mundane that we're anyway.
Babies are hard. Work's hard.
My plans. I don't even know, man. I think I want to get, before we meet again, I want to get to the point where I've got like super rough thumbnails of kind of the layout and get a feel for like the size and the position of all these characters. I'm really bad at drawing people, and so it's going to be like finding a lot of reference and stuff. I think that's where I want to get for this print.
Nice. And I think that is a good trick to starting to learn how to draw people, is having good reference. Yeah. So yeah, my plan is just to hopefully I'm still going to be kind of ambitious and say I want to finish this page by the next time we talk, but realistically, it'll probably be 75% done. But I'm still going to aim to finish.
Yeah.
So that's my plan, my hope.
Cool. So, topic of conversation.
Whew, man. Well, it's funny because we could go on the well-trodden territory of what we were talking about before starting, but I feel like we've touched on that stuff so many times. But I am kind of intrigued by this this mashup thing. So maybe we can just broaden that to just some concepts that, I don't know, concept spitballing maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you just want to brainstorm?
Yeah. I mean, we can do that.
That'd be super helpful for me. Unfortunately, I'm using my phone as a camera, and my list is on my phone. Let's see if Apple's doing its job and kind of transferred it over. I almost don't want to say this stuff out loud because I'm afraid people will steal it, but I don't think they will. It's not that great of an idea. So what I've got so far is I've got Rick from Rick and Morty cosplaying as Wonder Woman, Superman cosplaying as Gandalf, Goku cosplaying as Rick, and just because I think this is super funny, like the Frank Miller Batman, the big giant bulky Batman, like kind of squeezed into a Mario Kart with like a Mario hat and like overalls over him. And then Hermione cosplaying as Velma, Wonder Woman dressed up as Sailor Moon, Harley Quinn as Spider-Gwen. And then I was thinking of either doing Yoda, like a symbiote Yoda, like Venom Yoda, or like Yoda as Rocket Raccoon. I think both of those would be cool. Princess Leia in her bounty hunter mask as Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider. Snow White as Captain Marvel. Captain America in an Assassin's Creed hood. The Katie from Firefly coming out of a Samus Aran suit from Metroid. And then I want to do something with Evangelion, Overwatch, Professor X, Spawn. I want to get some
nice
indie comics in there. That's what I've got so far. There's probably like a Professor X wheelchair joke I could do in there somewhere.
I feel like at the end you should just do so have the whole list of just kind of plausible mashups, you know? Like they get kind of ridiculous, but they get plausible. And then maybe the last thing is like a hot dog cosplaying as a hamburger or something like really right. Like it's like a mashup that's just kind of ridiculous and silly. Yeah, like beyond like even pop culture. It's just like, I don't know,
like it just doesn't make
Coca-Cola dressed up as a Pepsi or something, you know?
Yeah, so I don't know, and I'm trying to make it so none of these make sense because people have done. I remember Marvel doing this like in the 90s where they had like trading cards of like characters dressed up as other characters. And I can't remember what they were, but I remember like Beast was Captain Nemo or something. And so I don't want it to like make sense. I don't want people
you don't
be
want
like,
that aha moment.
Yeah,
it's
I don't want people to be like, "Oh, I get it." I want them to be like, "The F does Batman have to do with Mario Brothers?" And be like, "Nothing. It doesn't have anything to do with it."
That's so good.
So I don't want even like incidental, accidental relations.
That's awesome. I haven't done a lot of mashups. I think let's see, I did Abraham Lincoln and Link from Link's Adventures.
Yeah, that's cool.
The Abraham Lincoln. And I did Albert Einstein as a beer stein. And then like a million people ripped that off after I did it. But yeah, like I haven't really delved into it too much, but I like the idea of it, and I like the idea of just kind of almost like getting it out of your system and like intentionally making it like ones that have no concept. Yeah, right. Like they're just, this is popular and this is popular blender. Right. I think that's great.
And I want to but I think
they still sound fun to draw.
Oh yeah, and I want to get some more like DC characters in there, and I want to move away from comics too. Like I watched a little bit of anime, but I don't think I watched like anime that people recognize. Like some of it, like Samurai Champloo. I'm a huge fan of Samurai Champloo, but there's not like
Yeah.
really like. I mean, there's Mugen and those guys, but there's not like super recognizable. I mean, they were like traditional Japanese
Well, you could
dress.
do like Spike dressed up as Mugen, which would basically be the same character.
Right, exactly.
Like W. Huh?
Yeah, that would be cool.
It just doesn't even look different.
Right. I
Uh,
mean, I guess you could have like Mugen have guns or
that's true.
whatever.
You could dip into Naruto, which I got super addicted to, and I'll admit
Yeah.
it.
See,
I
and
don't care.
I've never watched that one, so some of these I'd have to do a little research. Like I almost want to do
Yeah.
like a Voltron Evangelion mashup or something, but that almost makes too much sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe if you did an anime crossover, you could do Voltron and Sailor Moon or something like ridiculous where it has no connection.
just have like the lion dressed up in like the Sailor Moon
The
dress.
Sailor Moon costume. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. So, and then I'm trying to do stuff that I like, but then I'm also trying to do like stuff that's just super popular. So, like I don't want to do too much for any one thing. So I've already done a couple. I think something as a Jedi, something that doesn't make sense as a Jedi would be the best. And I love Bob-ombs. I think that's like probably the best designed character in existence is a Bob-omb. There's just nothing that beats the simplicity of that. So I want to work some of those in there somehow. But anyway, I don't know. So
I
and
kind
then
of like it.
yeah, so and then I've got to figure out like an environment for them to be in. And I almost don't want the environment to make any sense either. Like to have like them in like an alleyway and a jungle at the same time, or in space and New York. I'm not exactly sure. Like,
So, like, the environment would be a mashup too.
right? Yeah, because like every Marvel and DC comic happens in New York until they were like, oh, people live other places. Let's do like the West Coast Avengers. And
Yeah.
like as a kid, I grew up with no skyline. Like I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and I live in the middle
Same
of nowhere.
here.
And I was always like, what's that like? Because the whole Spider-Man swinging from stuff always confused me, because until I went to New York, and then I was like, oh, literally, I can't see the horizon. The only sky I can see is directly above me. So
Yeah, I remember water towers just being the weirdest thing, but they were in like every Spider-Man issue, and I'd look at them like, what is this weird like house thing that's on the top of all these buildings?
yeah,
And actually had a fantasy for a long time until living in a couple cities of like living in an apartment like Spider-Man's that would be like a bricked off apartment with a fire escape that I could just hang out and draw on or something.
right, yeah.
And then it's like you live in a city and you're like, that's really not all that great. It's not all that great to have a fire escape.
I like visiting cities, but what I've found with New York is, and New York's fun, and I know a ton of people love it. For me, the constant smell of garbage and urine is like, I can't get past it. It's everywhere, no matter where you go. Like the nicest parts and the worst parts, they all smell like hot garbage and a slight hint of urine. Like it's just like
the only reason I think, like, I think there is a plus to a city, which is there's a weird kind of electricity to so much commerce and so many people just kind of moving around doing stuff. There's an electricity that you feel being in those cities,
right?
And it is kind of it's hard to explain, and it's kind of hard to replace. And so like that I could see as being kind of addictive. But you're right. I don't know. I'm one of those people. I kind of like being in a commutable range from a big city, but I'd never actually want to be in a big city.
Yeah. And one of the cool things about it is it's also like, how do you describe that? Like where I live now, there's no community of anyone doing anything. Like there's just not enough people. But I went to New York, and the first time I went to New York, I was going because I was representing a ukulele brand that we had just created, and there's like this ukulele convention. There's like enough people in New York that you can have a convention about anything. And literally, it was like there's like a couple hundred people that showed up to like talk about and play ukuleles. And I remember like just being in the basement of this guy's mansion at like 3 a.m, and I looked around the room, and there was like the top 3 best ukulele players in the world, and a bunch of random people like just jamming to like Beatles songs. And like the best ukulele player in the world had like an empty case of beer and was just using it as like a kavalava, like a little percussion instrument to like keep the, he wasn't even playing. And I was just like, I can see how New York is pretty cool. Like, cause that was just such a surreal and weird situation. Like I hung out with the dude, the keyboardist from the Cars. And then there was like the guy that rewrote a bunch of stuff for the Police was there. And I was like, you guys are into ukes now? And I was like, oh yeah, they're awesome. It's like, okay, what is happening? Anyway, so
they're like, welcome to the club, man. We've been into ukes for years.
Right. Didn't you know that George wrote half of those songs on a uke and then transposed them for the guitar afterwards? And I was like, nope, I didn't know that.
That's awesome. So I think, I mean, I definitely know. Like, I used to, like when I lived in Portland, I'd meet all these people who thought they were like huge because they were really big in Portland.
Right.
And it was so weird coming from LA, where you know you meet people who are a big deal and they're like legitimately like worldwide like a big deal.
Yeah.
So like if they went to like, you know, Utah, they'd be a big deal. If they went to like Arizona, they'd be a big deal. They're just a big deal. And but in Portland, like there was a whole kind of weird culture of kind of like, well, I'm the most known cartoonist in Portland or something, and then outside of Portland, like nobody's heard of this person. So there's that, which is kind of refreshing, but you know, there's a downside to that too. But that's also kind of refreshing about like New York and LA too, where it's like people are like legitimately doing like huge things in big cities. But then, you know, that can be alienating too, because, you know, there's really good local stuff that can get kind of, you know, buried among the giants. So tell me, that was a side rail.
Yeah, that was, I don't even know what our topic for discussion was, but I do want to ask you this question.
That's fine.
Because I have this question because every semester I do a series of projects where the students can do whatever they want. And it seems like every other semester I have a student from Portland who wants to do like a set of stickers about Voodoo Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
And I've eaten at Voodoo Donuts and I don't get it. Like it's just a donut. Most of them have stupid looking googly eyes on them. Is there something I'm missing?
Yes. Bacon maple bar. I mean, like they started the bacon maple bar before like anybody was really doing the bacon maple bar. So it was like this weirdly awesome idea. Like, yeah, a maple bar with the big slab of bacon is pretty delicious. Yeah.
So that's okay.
That's pretty much it.
Like I'm trying to understand. Like I like understanding different cultures and stuff. And when I go to Portland, the thing that stands out to me is not that the hippies and the crunchies and all those guys and everybody being like into like indie stuff. The thing that stands out to me about Portland is that no matter where you are, everybody is driving 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. That's like that's like the defining factor of that place in the world for me is like I'm going the speed limit and I feel like I'm speeding past everybody at 400 miles an hour.
Coming from LA, where if the speed limit says 65, you're going 85.
Right.
And when you're getting on the freeway, you're accelerating to 85 because you're getting on a freeway.
Because that's the only way you can get in.
Yeah, so coming from that kind of culture to like where you're like almost getting in an accident because people are like, no, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. And like they literally like slam on the brakes to let somebody in on the freeway. It's like it's bad driving on a level that I can't even explain because it's driven by courtesy, but it's just like it's insanity.
It's like overly kind to a fault. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do miss the gas thing. I thought that was cool. I still think it's pretty rad. Like that was awesome when it was raining. It's like pouring rain. You don't have to get out of your car. Gas gets pumped. You know, you don't tip because you can actually get in trouble for tipping.
Oh, interesting.
But if you're not a local, then you tip, and you know somebody gets away scot-free with some money.
See, I live in a part of Idaho where I can drive 20 miles on the freeway and not see another vehicle. Like I just, you know, like traffic is when there's like 3 other cars around you. That's traffic. So like I go to Southern California and I'm like, oh wow, I forgot what people on the road is like.
Oh yeah. And even like, so where I live is crazy. Like somebody from out of state would drive here and be like, this is insane.
Yeah.
But compared to like downtown LA,
oh yeah,
it's like a breeze because, hey, you can park when you go somewhere.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take 10 hours to park or cost you like $50. But like, yeah, driving downtown is insane.
Another thing about parking that stands out to me is most people in Idaho and Montana drive what they call rigs. And a rig is, or an outfit, depends on kind of what part of the area you're from. But a rig or an outfit is just a gigantic vehicle, you know, like an unnecessarily large truck or SUV, like just way bigger than anyone would ever need, ever.
Yeah.
And I drive like, well, one, I usually have my Harley, so I can park wherever I want. But my wife has a minivan, which isn't a big vehicle. It's like bigger than a car, but like it's not huge. We can park anywhere with ease, and you never have to like think about it. And when I park in LA, even if I rent like a small car, those spots are so small. Like they're all sized for like compact sized vehicles. Like you like almost have to like bail out of the open window. No matter where you park, you can't get out of your car. It's crazy.
But here's the thing that I'll say, bragging about Californians, is we get a rap for being really bad drivers because we're really angry drivers, which is totally true because we drive all the time in massive amounts of traffic. The culture in LA, like if anybody watching is like from out of state, when you get to LA, understand if you are not an offensive driver, you're not going to move in downtown. Like no one lets you in. You have to butt your way in. Like that's how you get through LA.
But then when you do that, no one gets mad at you because they expect it.
Well, they kind of get mad at you, but they're all mad. So that's why they get a bad rap.
See, for me, I like driving in Southern California because I can expect a consistent level of aggression. Whereas in other places, it seems a little random. You're not sure like what type of driver you're going to get. But in Southern California, you're going to get aggressive, fast drivers.
Yes.
And so you just
and then you'll get the really crazy ones, which you just avoid. But the nice thing is, if you take any driver from California and you put them on any road, they're going to be a much better driver. They're going to be they're going to be better at parking.
Right.
They're going to know how to deal with traffic. They're going to know how to read road signs, and they're going to know how to follow really confusing directions.
Yep.
And it's like, so that's the weird part is like, the only thing you won't get is anybody who knows how to drive in the rain.
or ice and snow.
All right. Well, I think we should call it.
Why? Why call it? We're on such a... Just kidding.
I'm actually loving it.
I don't even know what to title this episode. This is the title of this episode.
Driving tips.
Potpourri. It's just
driving tips. I actually like it.
Yeah,
I like it. And honestly, I think driving relates to art and comics because you have to drive to conventions and all that fun stuff.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely travel involved somehow. And donuts.
So let us know what you guys think in the comments about our kind of rambly episode. I liked it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Thanks to No Saboteurs for licensing the intro music. And if you want to check out Joshua Kemble's stuff, quarterlystories.com, and maybe even some thoughts on his driving theories. And if you want to see my stuff, go to CoryKerr.com. And I don't really know how to wrap this one up. So we'll see you guys again on Wednesday when maybe we'll have a topic. How about this?
For more driving tutorials.
For more driving tutorials. Here's a call to action in the comment section. We've obviously both are very sleep deprived and tired. So if you guys have an idea of what you want us to talk about, leave that in the comments. Let's do that.
That's true.
And then,
I like that.
Yeah. Well, because we've got a list, but we always forget to look at it. So
I kind of forgot the list.
Yeah. I don't know. When we made that list, literally everything on that list was like a major, like 2-hour-long ArtCast episode rather than like a 15-minute topic. So we're always like, we look at the list and go, huh, yeah, those are all pretty deep dives. So anyway, we could do like a 15-part series on a couple of those items on the list since we try to keep this to 20 minutes.
Even parking. Let us know. Also, and this is a curious thing because I do like the discussion even though it has nothing to do with art.
Right.
If you guys are from another state, mention in the comments why your state is any good at driving.
Yes.
And I guarantee you anybody from California is better. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Okay, we're out.